And we are rolling. All right, let's talk some shit. Another episode of Live on Lake Street, Minnesota's #1 daily show. It's just me today. I don't know if y'all had a chance to check out my first solo installment, but I felt like it went well. I let off a little commentary about the Kanye situation. It was just after the Drink Champs interview. A few more things have come out since then that had me feeling maybe slightly different than I felt at that time. But for the most part, I still stand on pretty much everything I said. I do have a question for anybody that's watching this, and I would love for y'all to, talk to me in the comments and let me know what you think. But I did go back and re-review some of the George Floyd comments that he had made. That y'all know I didn't at the time. I didn't agree with him speaking on that or saying that. But after further review, what I'm wondering is if he was maybe taken a little bit out of context. And specifically what I mean by that is if you go back and watch, it looked almost like he wasn't saying that George Floyd wasn't murdered. He was saying that it wasn't the knee in the neck. That perhaps, to me, it looked like maybe he was saying that they stuck him with fentanyl. Now, I have no idea if that's what happened, and to be honest with you, I have zero interest in going back and rewatching that video of a man being murdered. But also in that first installment, that I did last week, I really essentially said it doesn't matter. Like, he was murdered on camera, and what the cause of death was specifically to me doesn't matter all that much. The fact of the matter is he was murdered on camera brutally by a police officer. That is what happened, by Derek Chauvin. That is what happened, regardless of what the specific cause of death was. And I know that there are multiple autopsy reports out there. Some of them say different things. But, this is a man that had health issues to begin with. And regardless of any of that, even if it wasn't the knee in the neck that was the cause of death, that man's knee should not have been in his neck. I mean, he shouldn't have even been on the ground, to be honest. It was a murder. So, but, moving on, Kanye has now lost pretty much all of his endorsements. And it is looking to me like maybe this was his intention all along. I don't know if that's true or not. None of us really do, but it does look that way. And I'm kind of past caring too much about it. We'll just see how it plays out. Ye has said a few things over the past couple of days that have really, he's losing me a little bit. With the, now I know what it feels like to have a knee in my neck. That's, I don't know why you'd say that, but I digress. No more Kanye talk for me for now. We'll see what happens in the months coming up. And, prayers for Kanye and the people that are around him and that love him, and we'll see. But there's a couple other subjects that I want to bring up. So one of the subjects I want to talk about is I'm not going to address the men's cipher because I haven't had a chance to digest it, but Trap Right did their seemingly now annual ciphers, and I watched the women's cipher. And I have a few thoughts, a few things to say about it. So I am curious how the people in the cipher were chosen, or if it was a pay to play, or if it was we reached out to a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of people declined. Because obviously, as anybody that's seen it knows, no, I know people are going to take it how they're going to take it, but I don't mean any disrespect by it. There were a couple of women in the cipher that I feel like maybe they could have kept. But I also know that sometimes you try to make things happen and you just can't get everybody on the same page. So maybe there were a couple of people that were reached out to that either A, declined, or B, couldn't make it. Whatever. I understand. It's not easy to get a bunch of people in the same room at the same time for something like this. But the first thing I'm going to say about this cipher is the person that really stood out to me was Carson Blue. Is she the best rapper? Not necessarily. I think when it comes to if you're really breaking down, rap abilities, I probably would have Akita maybe slightly ahead of Carson on that front, slightly. But what I will say is, and I think if you've watched it and you know anything, you probably agree with me that Carson just stands out differently. She has, and I told her this, so this is not, I told her this in a private conversation, that there's just something, there is a, I know it sounds cliche, but there is an it factor when it comes to her. She has that something extra special. So I was really impressed with that. And, she told me she was nervous, and I didn't see it at all. But she really just looked like she was the big dog. And I think she should look like that because, she is. She is, to me, she is that. When it comes to the full package, I think she is, to me, she does hold that number one spot if we're ranking women, which I don't like doing, but I understand that on some level we do that. But I just think she has an it factor. She has a wow factor. She looks like a star. She sounds like a star. It's effortless. So I thought Carson was really the standout. What I will say is Akita is a beast. She is a monster. She killed the Cypher as well. And I was really impressed with Hollywood. Hollywood, to me, looked like she came the most prepared. She had really, it looked like she had rehearsed her verse and really was on her shit, really on her game. It was flawless. Her voice was perfect. She did a great job with the Cypher. I thought that she did a really great job. I was impressed. I wasn't expecting that from her. I was disappointed in Tia Jones, to be honest. Like I sort of thought Tia was gonna come a little harder than that, a little better than that. Now, she might have been nervous, or maybe she wasn't fully prepared. You never know what somebody's going through. But I like Tia, and I just felt like, and also going first, that's not the easiest task. But I don't know. I was expecting a little more out of Tia, and that's all right. No big deal. I don't think anybody was whack, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. And you'll have to tune in next week for the next installment for me to break down the men's cipher, get my thoughts and opinions on that. But I do have some. I'm going to watch it a few more times and really give it a full breakdown and dive into it and give you more detailed thoughts next week. So make sure you tune into that next week. Another thing I want to break down is my dog Remedy and Checkmate. They dropped a new album. Album is titled "This Is Not a Text." It's on all streaming platforms. And I got to be honest, man. I had high expectations for this because, Rem's last project, to me, is a classic. It's a perfect album. There's not a skip on the album. It's a play straight through album. And when someone does something like that, that really sets a bar. And I know that Remedy and Checkmate together are a problem. They're phenomenal together. But no, I'm just playing. It's a great album. That was a great clickbait moment right there. No, it's a phenomenal album. They not only do they reach expectations, but they went above expectations. Lowry Ave Blues was a phenomenal project in that it wasn't. It was conceptualized, but it wasn't as conceptualized as this album. And it still plays all the way through. This album, This Is Not a Text, this is a legitimate concept album that you really can't skip songs. So the thing about a concept album is you have to be perfect in order for it to be a good album, because you don't want people skipping songs with such a specific concept, because you're going to miss this. You're going to be missing pieces of the storyline. And so it's incredibly important with a concept like this that you gotta have bangers all the way through. I think that the album is really fitting for the times, because I feel like humans more and more these days are lacking accountability, and this album is full of accountability. This album is full of, I don't know. I assume that Remedy draws from real life experience, but I can't say that for a fact. But, assuming he is drawing from real life experience, this is a man that's really taken accountability for his actions within a relationship that he cares about. And so, that really, just on a personal level, that hit home for me. A lot of the content on the album really drove home for me big time. A lot of I've been going through a lot of the similar things. I'm telling on myself now, similar things in my life that he's discussing in the album. The one thing that I really thought was important for Remedy to do on this album is get away from the comparisons to Life Jennings, which I personally don't. I understand it. I don't hear it as much as probably other people, but man, did he really created a gap on this one. He used his full voice. In my opinion, much better vocalist than Life Jennings, and I don't think the comparisons should even be there anymore. He's a better artist than Life, and I like Life, but yeah, and I wasn't there for the process, but I know that it's not just him, his voice. I'm sure that is in production as well. I'm sure that is Checkmate. They did a really great job of making his voice bigger, more powerful, a lot more bass, baritone in his voice on this one. So yeah, man, it's a special album. I can't give standout tracks because I think it's so important to listen to it from front to back, and I don't even want to give standout album tracks because I don't want anybody to listen to me break this down and go to the song that I say you should go to. Go to track one and listen all the way through, and understand, that this is a true concept album, which we don't get a lot of these days. But yeah, it's a straight through, man. And I've said this. I either said this privately to them, or I said it in a post. This is the first album that has had this type of effect on me since Confessions, and I really mean that. That's not cap. I really mean, like, the time the Confessions came out, I was going through very similar things. I really related to a lot of the things that he was talking about in the album, and this album feels a lot like that. So I say all that to say, let's get behind Remedy and Check on this one, and really, help push it out to the masses, because it is a phenomenal album. And in the Twin Cities, we seem to be lacking. Not only do we seem to be lacking R&B artists, we don't have a lot, but we don't support them the way that we should. We have some really talented R&B artists here. Him being, to me, the king of the mountain as far as current times. We got to get behind this. We got to push this. We got to help get it out there more. But yeah, I mean, round of applause, honestly, for Check and for Remedy for putting together such a phenomenal body of work. It's going to get mad replay. It's got mad replay value on my end. Hopefully it will for you. When they initially sent it to me, I told Check, I'm going to give it the car test, the home test, the headphone test, and the fuck test. And if I'm being honest, and you'll understand why when you listen to it, it got 3 out of 4, because this is not an album to fuck to. It just isn't. It's not. It's too much. There's too much accountability going on, and it didn't work. Didn't work for me. Tried it. Didn't work well for me. Maybe you'll have a different experience. By all means, let me know in the comments if you had a different experience. But yeah, phenomenal body of work, and I strongly recommend going and listening to it. That being said, I'll be back next week with more topics, but we got some really great interviews coming out this week as well. So stay tuned. We got Nick Trevay in the building. We got who else do we have this week? Oh yeah, TJ Too Cool, and K Fresco, stylist, artist, and then another artist slash hustler slash OnlyFans slash man, yeah, Lord Shup. That's it. It was a busy week, and we hope y'all are still enjoying the content. And I would like to hear from y'all in the comments, and make sure you go back and watch my initial one too, and give me feedback. I'd like to know, like in topics even. You know what I mean? Like if you got topics that you'd like me to cover, let me know. Hit me up privately anywhere. I'm at Jake Faircloth 1 everywhere, or you can hit up the Live on Lake Street page. You know where to go. Make sure you go follow Live on Lake Street everywhere. We're trying to give y'all more, and I believe we put out a post today. Heavily discounted interviews. So go check the story. Hit us up, reach out, let us know what services y'all need from us or what kind of content you'd like to hear from me. And yeah, that's it. Until next week, make sure y'all go follow Live on Lake Street everywhere. Follow me everywhere at Jake Faircloth 1. And stay tuned for more content. That's it. Love y'all.
Damn, what in high school, I let it blam, what I wasn't playing, what I'm coming straight out the south. Hey, genius, best watch your mouth. When I put up on P&B right, that ain't he come out. You moving ounces, I just moved 100 things in a drought. You want the south side, outside the fence of your house. You talking all that, then wanna come talk it out. If you ain't talking money, you talking about. I gives a what you do. I'm a